Yeah, do you know what? Bittersweet, really. I think we'll put my head on the pillow tonight. We're all hurting and suffering a little bit. Congratulations to Daniel and his Leeds United team. Congratulations to Scott and everybody connected at Burnley. I think for two teams above us to have the ability to finish on 100 points is just incredible. It's insane, really. I want us to go and get into the 90s. We know it was an uphill task. We know we wanted it to be a more of a tighter contest in terms of from the points total. For us, losing to a team at the bottom of the form table, you can lose a game in the Championship at home to Millwall, even though I believe it was a little bit of a smash and grab, and then lose at the bottom team, even though Coventry have lost there today and Middlesbrough potentially should have drawn. This is just how the Championship is. But to pick up no points in that week of football, handed the initiative over to Burnley and over to Leeds United. So congratulations, and for them in terms of taking advantage of that situation. To go 44 games deep into the season, Dan, and to play like we've done tonight. Disappointed in terms of the goals that we've conceded because they've not really had to work hard for their goals. I thought we were always in the game. I've got maybe a little bit of rose-tinted glasses. I felt our efforts deserved something from the game against a team that's gone 31 games and conceded 13 goals. They're 31 games unbeaten. It's just amazing record that both of these teams have had. So we finished third, and we've took it deep. And I've said in my interview there, at Huddersfield away, a week before the start of the season, our team had an under-21 field. And for us, great experience for the younger boys that have come into the football club, and we've got to use that as fuel and motivation in nights like this to reset, try and get into 90 points, and then see if we can have a night like what Leeds United are going to have tonight and what Burnley are going to have tonight.
You mentioned that word. You don't need any more motivation to get promoted to this football club.
Yeah.
Does this seem sort of listening to the?
No, I've felt it.
Does that sort of
I've had nights like this, so I'm jealous, and I think we all should be. But they've deserved it. Yeah. Both teams have deserved it. They've been incredible, outstanding. And as I said, my point. Both teams have ability to get 100 points, and we have the ability on the points per game that we've got to get into the 90s. So that has to be our target. I've got to look at players because there's a few carrying knocks tonight that would have definitely have not started, maybe not involved. But I thought the attitude of the team was really good. I don't think that they should go to sleep and think what we could have done any more. I don't think we could have done any more really tonight. We should have shown a little bit more composure and quality around the edge of the box. But poor goals to give away, especially the penalty when we got ourselves back into the game, and maybe that would have been an interesting 45 minutes. But it is what it is. I think you guys and maybe a few of the people I've done interviews with are looking at me, and I think the players have given everything for the football club. And like I said, go back to that day at Huddersfield where you were there. It was an under-21 field, and to get it deep and to get into the points total that we've got, the experience that we've got, the wins that we've had, it shouldn't be looked as a failure, and it certainly won't be looked as a failure. It's a disappointment that we've not pushed it tighter, but maybe 95 points or 94, 95 points might not even been enough to get out of the division. Who knows? But that was the week that really put us on the back foot, that was ours.
You started on the front foot today, didn't you? You can tell you have that belief about you. Is that sort of set the standard now for what comes?
Dan, we've been on the front foot all season. I'm not having this negative approach.
No.
We've had 75% possession in the 3 games in that week. If that was the case, we'd have 35%, and if we'd have sat back and I'd have put 3 centre halves on and protected it and gone at half time against Plymouth and gone 5-4-1. We've just not been good enough in both boxes in that week, which I've said to you, a few times now. So there's always been that approach. There was approach that on Friday. There was approach against Coventry. 2 weeks ago, and that'll be the approach right the way through. We've never, I've said to the players before the game, even when we were in the Premier League, always thought that wherever we went, whoever we played, even in the Premier League, we could go and get a win. That's been the attitude of me and the group. Sometimes you fall short because you're just not good enough, or you don't do enough, or like tonight, you can see poor goals and you don't find those big moments that you need to find. But the attitude of me in terms of setting up, late on in games we might have go-tos, what everybody has. Not be funny about it. Burnley today had a go-to shape to see the game out, and we've had that shape, and we have a go-to shape to try and risk at the end towards the end of the game. Everybody does it, but there's no negativity when you've got 27 wins and you're trying to get into 90 points. So the attitude of the team, it was just a little bit different in terms of way we set up our build. More patient in the past was one more of maybe with Kiefer on the pitch, we went into him a little bit quicker and a little bit earlier, and it caused them a problem, and it gives us food for thought between now and the end of the season.
It's like for Tom as well to get off the mark in the shirt.
Yeah, it's been difficult for Tom. He came into the team in around Christmas in January, and got injured against Middlesbrough. And Tyrese has come into the team and got EFL Player of the Month, so Tyrese has kept him out. But I thought it was right to put pace alongside Kiefer. He was up against arguably the best defender in the division, in my opinion. Who was outstanding tonight and has been outstanding and been part of a unit that's conceded 13 goals all season. But we've given them a game tonight and we've been competitive, and we've showed an ambition and desire to try and win a game of football. Like I said, I think that maybe a result from here would have been the right, but we haven't got that. And but Tom scoring hopefully will give him a boost to kick on.
Actually, about the celebration at the end, fans running on the pitch, Hamza seemed to have a bit of a flashpoint. What happened there, and how is he?
Well, we were told by the referee before that we'll be getting stewards surrounding us, but I think they went on the missing list, completely went on the missing list. So yeah, it was quite scary out there in the end, where there's people coming and doing bits and pieces. Understandable that their emotions are running high, but I didn't think we got protected by the football club and the stewards at all one bit. And the referee, when I spoke to him afterwards, he noticed that as well. So I suppose when 20 or 30 lads, 40, 50 lads are running at you, shouting bits and pieces and doing bits and pieces, just at the end of a game, it's quite difficult just to get off. But I'll be absolutely stunned if anything comes our way on any of that.
Yeah, was it nothing bad was said to him? Nothing,
of course it's going to be bad said to him. What are they going to say? Unlucky and well done and all the best in the playoffs.
Nothing past the line.
Dear me, and well done. Yeah, shake hands. Yeah, well done.
Nothing too. You know what I mean? Nothing past the line.
No, I don't. Of course there was.
Yeah.
Chris, how big a job have you got now?
Not a big job at all. All these boys have played in big games. Same as playing FA Cup semi-final. Callum, they've all played in big games. We wrote down all their achievements before. They've all played in big games, and they've got to play in some big games now. They've got to learn from playing in a big game tonight, because it was the biggest game of the season for Burnley to get over the line. I thought they showed their experience in terms of that. So all of those boys, Kiefer Moore's played in a World Cup, Ty's played in big games, Hamza's played in an FA Cup final, Cooper's played in big games. They've all played in big games. The young boys will learn from that experience tonight, and the older boys will drag them through. Robbo's played in the playoff semi-final. He played for Liverpool when he was 18. He's played in the Premier League. So we're not short of experience, and to lift. I don't think it's going to be a difficult job at all. What better way to extend your season when you don't go up automatically? I've talked about it, Pete, in terms of trying to get to 90 points. I've talked about the small percentage of people inside Sheffield and outside Sheffield going away from that game at Huddersfield on that night. We're thinking that we would be taking it deep into the 44th game of the season. So this is part and parcel. We've finished the third best team in the division, quite a few points clear of fourth, quite a few points clear of fifth, sixth, and and quite a few points clear of some other notable clubs.
It's about time Sheffield United went up in the playoffs, isn't it?
We talked about it before, didn't we? The club's going to be here for what, another 150, 200 years, unless something happens that takes that all away from us all. The club's been here for 1889, so over 100 years, and there'll be a time to put that to bed. And hopefully the time is this season. I know it's like, even though it was at a smaller scale to come through the playoffs and win. It's an incredible feeling, as everybody talks to us about. It's a perfect example. Everybody thought Newcastle would get turned over in the Carabao Cup, and they had a day and a night to remember. So it will happen. Sheffield United will win playoff semi-finals, and will win a playoff final. And it's about time that they did it. Thank you.
It showed a lot of fortitude inside Chris. Back in the autumn, you lost to Leeds and Burnley, you came back. And early this year, those wins at Watford and Derby.
Yeah, even tonight, Leon. I think if a team wasn't together, and things that people say about you and talk about you, they wouldn't have put that effort, that performance, that energy into playing a team that's a top team in this division that deserves to go up. We'd have got done 3, 4 and 5, but they came back after a disappointing goal. The goal just before half time is avoidable. The first goal is avoidable, and we went right deep into the game, and they saw the game out. They get the win that they wanted, and they get the points that takes them into the Premier League.
They get the chins, apparently. You had a rough week a few weeks ago, that's basically it.
There's worse situations and scenarios outside of football and inside football. So, we've got a fit, healthy, motivated group of players that are willing to work incredibly hard for each other, that are together in their attitude, because they wouldn't have got the points that they've got if they weren't like that, and they've shown that. For the majority of the season, we just had that 1 week where we didn't get it right and got punished for it.